JP Morgan says DeFi and TradeFi are converging fast, citing pilots with Chainlink and Base. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Appreciate you guys as always. But here once again, we're seeing so much good news coming out recently. And here we have JP Morgan, one of the biggest financial services company, and a bank, of course, is coming and saying this. Of course, you need DeFi and TradeFi to come together in order for us to revolutionize the financial industry, as well as take, the blockchain industry to the masses. And this right here is a perfect example, right in front of us. And I think this is going to become a norm, as I've stated on my channel quite a bit. As you know, in terms of regulators have given, financial industries that green light, to offer crypto, to their clientele. And I think as we go into the future, this is going to become such a norm. When we do go into these financial industries, crypto is going to be easily accessible, which of course opens the door for us to see more capital to flow into the crypto space. But it's quite funny to me. I always say this, JP Morgan used to be quite skeptical on crypto, and quite heavily skeptical, just not too long ago. And now here they are, completely switching their, overall take. And that really tells you how far this industry has come. If you're looking across the board, we're seeing a little bit of a minor pullback. Obviously, we're in a weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. We need to keep that factor in mind. The price of XRP is still holding at $2.22, down about 0.6% in USD and about 0.4% in Bitcoin. Comparative market cap at 130.9 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $890 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So Ripple isn't just building a bank, it's building its backbone of programmable money. XRP could settle trillions as a digital denominator for a code-governed economy. Early holders equal liquidity king. Shout out to Nitin 1974 for dropping this alpha. So you can see this for yourself. It says new genius in financial revolution. Approval of both the national charter and the Fed master account would crown Ripple not just a financial entity, but of course a genius of financial evolution. Now, if paired with rising XRP valuation, could allow Ripple to act as a non-government monetary arbiter for programmable equivalent to a central clearing house. So this continuation of Ripple's mega bank thesis poised that XRP role is evolving from speculative token to programmable liquidity substract. Of course, in the repriced early XRP holders would find themselves not merely wealthy, but structurally embedded in the architecture of the new monetary era, liquidity sovereigns in a world where code governs capital. Very, very big stuff, of course. And look at this. Brad Gerlinghouse, during a Singapore press conference, stated that stablecoin RLUSD from Ripple can be used as a collateral for all services at Hidden Road, emphasizing RLUSD will be the first stablecoin enabling efficient large-scale cross-margin trading between virtual assets and traditional financial markets, with its particular strength being 24/7 year-round availability. And of course, this is why we're seeing a complete shift in terms of stablecoin, and how we're seeing so much interest coming in towards stablecoins. And as I've stated to you guys before on my channel hundreds of times, RLUSD is positioning itself to really take a huge chunk of that market when it comes to the stablecoins, and we're already starting to see that. Remember BitMEX, a huge futures platform, they actually integrated RLUSD. This is a huge step in the right direction. And of course, look at this. As we know, I covered this yesterday. Real OGs caught XRP at 0.50. And of course, David Schwartz, who's the CTO of Ripple, said he bought it at 0.006. Anders says the remarkable thing is that Mr. Schwartz didn't gift himself XRP like Larson, Jed, and Brito, but bought on the secondary market like the rest of us, even though he's one of the creators. Rare. Could not agree more. Shout out to David Schwartz, of course. And on top of that, this is something I want you guys to keep in mind. Big stuff. BlackRock now holds 4.45 billion worth of Ethereum. Their market share is 42.8%, total domination. And of course, you guys are going to be like, wait, do they own 42.8% of Ethereum? No. So they own 42.8% of the ETFs. This itself is huge. And why is the price not chunking up towards the upside? Because of course this is OTC. These big players buy on OTC, not secondary market, which of course has them accumulate, and they're adding Ethereum at a record pace, and I think this is a major signal, in my opinion, that we are going to see altcoin really moving. Of course, if these big asset managers are betting on Ethereum to go up, I want you guys to realize this: when Ethereum goes up the way it does and reaches those all-time highs, guess what's going to happen to the altcoin market? The altcoin market is going to follow. And recently, if you've been noticing at the ETF flows, you are seeing Ethereum really getting a lot of inflows coming in. And look at this. Remember, just a reminder to you guys, XRP ETF filings with the SEC, Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 shares. This is inevitable. I think we are going to see ETFs being approved sooner rather than later, and then that is going to be revolutionary to say the least. But now let's take a look at the price briefly. If you're looking at the price, dominance has picked up at 65.49%. If you're looking at BTC at 108,000, pretty much ranging around that level. If you're looking at XRP, the fact that Bitcoin did see a little bit of a minor pullback, but still was able to close our daily candle above 108,000, quite impressive yet again. XRP has seen a little bit of a minor pullback, but you guys can see we are still ranging within the 38.2. But do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.